you need to now take whatever that is, because whatever that is can be turned into something monetary and something that can serve people in some way, shape, or form. What's going on? Welcome to another vlog. Different room today. Instead of being in the living room, in the kitchen, we are back in the office like a few vlogs ago. I hope you guys are doing well. If you are new to the channel, welcome to the channel. If you're not new, welcome back. Like always, please smash the like button, hit the subscribe, turn on your bell notifications. It makes a huge difference when you guys hit the like button, you drop a comment, and you share it, because it allows us to be put onto the algorithm and grow this family as much as possible. The bigger we grow, the more content that I can produce for you guys, and crazier videos I can bring. So let's get that done and let's jump into the video. Today's vlog is going to be on, obviously you saw it in the thumbnail and in the title, it's going to be how to create the life that you want and have freedom. Now, what do I mean by that? I literally mean you're going to be able to create the life that you want. And I think that there's nothing more that anyone wants than freedom. And freedom is different for everybody. Freedom could be $10 million. Freedom could be $1 million. Freedom could be $100,000. Freedom could be nothing to do with money, but just working on your own business and growing something that you believe in and something that you have passion for and love for. Freedom could be traveling around the world, living in a tent. Freedom could be volunteering in a third world country. Freedom can be so many different things. Freedom is literally different for every single person. How do you achieve freedom? Well, the first thing that you need to do is find out what it is that you love doing. What do you love doing so much that you would be completely happy not making $1 for the first 6 months, the first year, the first 2 years, maybe the first 3 years, maybe, who even knows? But you need to be so in love with what you're doing and have such a big passion for what you're doing that the money is irrelevant to you. Whatever you're making, even if you're not making anything, is irrelevant to you, because you just love what you're doing so much. You need to now take whatever that is, because whatever that is can be turned into something monetary and something that can serve people in some way, shape, or form. If it's volunteering, you can maybe start a fundraiser or GoFundMe and have people donate to be able to support you to do what you do, right? So if it's like going to a third world country and bringing like food and water and helping them make shelter, then raising money to do that through social media, through so many different platforms, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, collabing with influencers, whatever the case is. There's so many different ways to do that, right? If you love reselling childhood toys, you go to garage sales. Gary Vee talks about this a lot. You go to garage sales, you find stuff that's trending, you find stuff that has a good resale and flip value, and you maybe buy it off eBay, or you're reselling it on eBay, or you're reselling it on Instagram, or on, I think Facebook has a store, like a buying and selling section on Facebook. I don't know, I haven't been on there in almost a decade, but there's so many different ways to monetize whatever it is you want to do. The steps that you need to go through is finding out the consumer that's going to be purchasing whatever it is that you're doing, or donating money to whatever it is that you're doing, right? Because even if it's a fundraiser, not everybody really cares to donate, right? That's not something that everybody does. But there is definitely different groups of people that tend to do that more than others. You need to research on those groups of people. If it's a business, you need to research the areas. You need to literally research everything about the industry. You need to research the areas that are most frequently using those whatever it is that you're selling. If it's I don't fucking know. If it's a phone holder for your desk, you need to find the group of people that are using that the most and buying that the most. The different countries, the different areas of the world, the different age groups, the competition. Is there 10 different companies that are making that? Are they all the same? What separates each one of those companies? What can you do that may be super inexpensive, and you buy a whole bunch of these, you go and buy all the competitors and you use them all and put them through trial and error and give them to your friends and see what your friends would think that would be a better idea, or what they would change, or what they would recommend, or what they didn't like about it. and figure out exactly how you can capitalize on other people's mistakes, right? Even on capitalizing on your own mistakes and just trial and error and learning throughout the process. You need to learn about manufacturers, you need to learn about shipping, you need to learn the best way to be shipping, whether you're receiving the inventory and you're sending it out, or if it's going directly from the manufacturer to the consumer. So they're just kind of buying it off your site, the order gets processed, the manufacturer does all the shipping and everything, and they send it out to the consumer from there. So that way it takes less work off of you, but that may cost more. So now you need to figure out, can you afford to be doing that? Can you afford to be using the manufacturer's way of shipping things out and sending it and order processing rather than doing it yourself? How do you want to scale the business? Do you want to, I don't really know anything about that world, but you need to figure out, like, can you scale the business to where you want to be with the manufacturer doing that, or do you have to be doing it yourself to be able to scale to the level that you want to get to? Is it something that's a trend right now? Is it something that's going to be around forever? Is it something that is hot now, and or maybe it was already hot and you're on the tail end of it? Is it even worth doing, right? Like something like clothing is something that we always need forever. Something like I don't know, what do I have in here that is something that's, I don't even know, to be honest with you. I can't think of anything at this current moment, but there's definitely things that are trends and things that just become popular for that moment or for that small period of time, and then they die off and something else replaces them, right? So you need to figure out all of those things. You need to figure out the different materials, you need to figure out the different hardware. Is it something that needs to be put together by the consumer when they receive it? There's so many different things that you need to figure out, but you need to do all of these things in order to be able to create a business that you're going to be able to live off of. Or for example, if it's trading, you need to master the market, and the market will pay you every single day. Day by day, the market will pay. Pretty sure that's what it is. Some saying that I made up like 4 or 5 years ago, something like that. But you need to learn whatever it is that you're doing and master it inside and out and every aspect of it to be the best at it. If Steve Jobs didn't figure out the technology space so well and the consumer space and what consumers like to absorb and how they like to absorb it, Apple wouldn't be as big as it is today. Same with Microsoft, same with Tesla. If he didn't master the electric car, and now even with SpaceX, what he's doing, it's crazy. Or the Boring Company, like that flamethrower, I don't know what else he's built, but that flamethrower, like, I think that thing sold out like instantly, and he made like stupid money off of it. So many different things. Amazon, like Jeff Bezos, he's always trying to figure out how to make the consumer happy, how to keep the consumer happy, how he can make life easier for the consumer and at the same time make more money for himself, for his company, and for everybody that's a shareholder in it, right? Because anybody that has stock in it, the better he creates the company, like the more he grows it, and the further that it expands and serves more people, the more value that they're going to get out of it, right? So it's all about bringing value, whether it's value to others or value to yourself. Like with trading, if you're just a trader, you don't really, the only value that you're bringing is to yourself from the effort that you put in. It's going to be shown on your results in trading. If it's a business, you need to bring value to people. You need to be different than the competition. Don't try to copy the competition. Don't try to, like, if you're trying to make a clothing brand, don't try to copy Nike. Try to be better than Nike. Try to figure out what Nike's weaknesses are, because every business has a weakness. Every person has a weakness. Everything has weak points and strong points. So you need to exploit the weak points of your competition and capitalize on those things and be able to push it to the next level. And just because you're a small brand or a small business doesn't mean that you can't steal part of the market away, or eventually majority of the market away from the biggest person in whatever industry it is that you're doing, right? So there's every business and business person that you look up to, or person that has achieved freedom, has just achieved freedom because they mastered whatever it is that they're doing. They gave it 150% every time that they were doing something involved with that. They gave it 150%. They never gave up, no matter how many no's. Like Starbucks, I think the guy got like a couple hundred or a couple thousand no's from the banks before he got a yeah, right? So it doesn't matter how many no's you get. It's just a matter of getting a yes, and then a yes, and then another yes, and another yes, and gaining traction and pushing it and collaborating with influencers, or if it's, again, with trading, just learning from your mistakes. Every trade that you take that's a loss, just learning and trying to figure out why it was a loss. Sometimes there just may not be a reason. Sometimes there's a reason literally right after you lost the trade. Sometimes right after you entered the trade, you know that it's most likely going to be a loss just because you might have overlooked something. And in trading, that's where like mental strength comes in, and you have to be strong enough to say, well, you know what, like my gut's telling me that this is a loss, and maybe I'm at break even or a small loss right now. Should I close it and just, like, if I'm doubting my analysis, maybe just close the trade and wait, see what it does, and then move on to the next one, right? So you have to, and again, this ties in with my last vlog, you have to give 150% with everything that you do. If you're doing anything less than 100, I don't even believe in 100%, because a majority of people can give 100%, but there's very few people that can give 150%. There's very few people, and when I say 150, it's because you're pushing through the hard times and you don't let the hard times define you, right? I've talked about it so many times. There's such a high percentage rate of people that fail in trading. It's not because they fail, it's just because they gave up before they got to where they wanted to be, right? They didn't keep pushing. They just didn't care enough to be successful in it. I think that anybody can be successful in anything that they want. And I just truthfully think that if you give something 150%, it may not happen as quick as you want it to. It may, if you want something to happen in a year, it might take 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. But eventually all of your hard work is going to pay off. It's going to unfold before your eyes, and it's going to repay you tenfold more than you would have probably ever imagined. So I hope that whatever it is that you're doing, you give it 150%, because whatever it is that you're doing, it can help you get whatever freedom you want from life, whether it's monetary or just time to yourself, or more time to spend with family and friends, whatever the case is. Or your goal is to be able to inspire as many people as possible, or change as many lives as possible, or help as many people. Whatever the case is, whatever freedom is for you, it can be achieved. It's not impossible. I don't think that anything is impossible. I just think that some things are harder than others in different ways, or everything's as hard as everything, but just everything's hard in its own unique way, right? So like building a business isn't easier than trading. Trading isn't easier than building a business. Trading isn't easier than I just think that everything has its own difficulty level at the same, but in its own unique way. So you need to tackle that in regards to whatever it is that you're doing. It's the same as, like, I can't what was the analogy that I used the other day with a friend? Like, I can't use the same technique on like 2K20 NBA and go and play like a racing game. I can't jump on this thing and use the same technique that I would on 2K20 NBA, because it just doesn't make sense. Two different environments, two different skills, two different techniques, two completely different things, and they're not going to take the same technique. The only thing that they'll have in common is just hard work and dedication, right? Other than that, they're going to be two completely different routes of going about things. So don't give up on whatever it is that you want. Give it 150% day in and day out. And 150% today isn't going to look the same as it does tomorrow, or as it did yesterday. So don't let that discourage you, and don't let hard days or bad days discourage you from continuing to push forward to what you want out of life. I hope this inspired you. I hope that you dissect every single aspect of whatever it is that you want to do, so that way you can be the best at it in the world, because that's what you should strive to be doing, is to be the best at whatever it is that you're doing in the world. And anybody can achieve that, right? And it's just an everlasting journey of being the best, not even against anyone else, but the best that you can be for yourself, right? That's all that really matters. Is if you go to sleep at night, you know that you've been giving it 150%, regardless of what the result is. I love you guys. Please hit the like button if you liked it, obviously. If you didn't, give me the thumbs down and tell me to go fuck myself in the comments. Share it with your friends and family, alright? And I will see you on the next vlog. Peace.